Memorial Day is a time to pause and reflect on the courage and service of those who have died fighting. One place to go and pay your respects is the Arlington West Memorial, put up by Veterans for Peace near the USS Midway Museum on San Diego Bay. It's a moving memorial that allows many people to drop deeper into their grief for those who were lost and their gratitude for their courage. Joining me is Dave Pattison of San Diego Veterans for Peace. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit about how your Arlington West Memorial has changed since you first started putting it up.
Well, in 2003 we started with crosses and eventually grew into about 2,000 cross display with candles and flags, and we had little inverted red beer cups with the bottom cut off, so we had red candles at night, and it was quite an elaborate display.
That was up in the Oceanside beach rather than down by the USS Midway, right?
We went to several places with that display, and at one point we were doing it monthly, and it was quite, the idea was to show people what the cost of war was.
And the numbers went up exponentially, right?
They did, they did. And at one point in Oceanside, I remember being on the beach in the summer with all our big elaborate display, and 3 or 4 kids rode in on their bicycles and jumped off and ran through the crosses, and at that time we had the names of the people on them. And when they came out, one kid ran up to me and said, "Hey, mister, we found our uncle and our cousin in there." And then they rode off. So the impact of war was very much felt by the people of Oceanside.
Now it's down by the USS Midway, and you've restricted it to people who've died from Southern California, right? How many headstones do you have now?
We have 280, and they're interspersed with black headstones, which are at some ratio equal to the number of suicides of the people that have been unable to deal with the conflict they've been in.
So now on your website, the Veterans for Peace website, it says that sometimes your group occupies the no man's land between peace activists and the military. Do you find that this memorial somehow brings those two groups together?
Oh yes, indeed. It brings together the peace activists that maybe have been anti-war activists from the 60s, and then also military people which come down to participate in our displays and talk to us and actually talk to other people about somebody they know maybe that is out there.
So do you ever get people who come who are critical of your message? I mean, this is a military town. There may be some people who come by and say, aren't you undermining our military forces?
Rarely these days. Back in 2003, there were a few of those. More frequently, people would come down. They were thinking we were dishonoring the military people that had sacrificed, but you know, as veterans, we would never do that. We want people to, we want to honor them, and at the same time, we want to show people what the real cost of war is.
I noticed that the Pew Research Center for the People in the Press did some research and found that the number of people who feel like the United States actually did achieve its goals in Iraq and Afghanistan has fallen since 2011 from 56% to 46%. Have you sort of noticed a change in the way that people are relating to war, those who come past your memorial?
Oh yes. People that come down and talk to us about it, they're almost invariably shaking their head and walking away sorry that we had been involved.
And do people who come to the memorial share stories with you much?
Yeah, occasionally we'll get some interesting stories. Some people will bring us you know, pictures of their loved ones and a little bit of literature about them. As a matter of fact, we had an Arlington West display here on the campus a number of years back, and people had gone by and written notes to people that had been lost. Some of them were very moving.
And in the minute we have left, you have a new element to your memorial this time. You actually have a drone, or a representation of a drone there. Tell us about that.
We have a 1/5 scale MQ-9 Reaper drone with a TV camera on it and a monitor, and when people come and look at it, they see themselves in the crosshair. We want them to see what it's like living in northern Waziristan these days, or Somalia or Yemen, where some highbrow studies have told us that we are terrorizing those people. And we also try to draw the people into conversations about the whole thing, about the number of civilian casualties that have happened in Iraq and Afghanistan as well, which are numbered in the tens of thousands.
Certainly a very thought-provoking memorial. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us about it.
Thank you very much.
That's Dave Pattison of Veterans for Peace, the San Diego chapter.